Folks, welcome back to another episode of the Keep Going podcast with Vin Kennedy. I'm your host, Vin Kennedy. As you can probably tell, shirts are in. Shirts are in, folks. The shirts are in. So they will be under the Grateful Instagram account. I will add the description in the bio. I'll also repost it on Facebook too. Why not? On Instagram. But we have a podcast. Why not have some merch? Really just trying to hammer home something that I think a lot of people are lacking. I lacked for a really long time. And I've kind of just understood the power of it within the last, I would say, like year and a half. It's consistency. And it's doing things daily when they need to be done for the bigger goal. So obviously it's the daily work that's going to lead towards the bigger goal. A lot of people focus and fixate on the giant goal and look at it as like this daunting, haunting task when really it's just brick by brick. You lay brick by brick. And every day you're just chipping away. And I think this is one of the biggest things that a lot of people lack. And you don't have to be crazy talented. You don't have to have any special gifts or abilities to you. It's consistency will bring you most results you want. Anybody can get a six-pack. It's just eating. It's eating and making the right food choices day after day. You don't have to be perfect every day. 80-20 rule. But you need to be more consistent than you're not. And for specific goals, obviously, sometimes you got to be nails. You got to be dead on. You really got to hit the goal that's in mind for that day and just let that stack, let that compound. I've definitely talked about it before, but the compounding effect of this is what will ultimately bring you to your goals and your desired result. Something I've learned, and just through consistency with, I guess, majority of it being workout goals, other goals as well, I've definitely hit just utilizing consistency. And sometimes you don't really see the work directly pay off for what you want. I really circulate a lot of positivity, a lot of motivation in just my mind through podcasts, through music, through books. And you wouldn't think it would directly pay off to certain areas in your life, but it does. It does tenfold. And it's just the work of becoming the person you want to become. It's becoming the person that does X, Y, or Z. And it could feel weird at first, almost like imposter syndrome. But if you just buy in and you just chip away day by day, you become that person. Something I've personally found was when you kind of just focus on the end goal, you get lost in all of the work that you have to do to get there. When you focus on consistency and the process and day by day, you smash your goals as a byproduct. When you focus on consistency, you smash your goals as a byproduct. Another analogy or key example that I was thinking of the other day is consistency is like pages in a book. If you put one page, you could rip that. If you put 10 pages, you could rip that. Your life is this book. Your story is this book. You just keep compounding and adding in those pages. At some point, you're going to get to 200 pages, 300 pages, and good luck. Go grab a 200-page book. You can't rip that. You can't break that. It's unbreakable. You've created something that's now unbreakable through consistent action. What story do you want your book to tell? Who do you want to be? What do you want to represent? And just consistently compound that. Let that book build up, and no one's ripping your book. A prime example for me is marathon prep. I believe, Jeff Cunningham is my running coach. He told me you have to run slow to run fast. And I was someone that never understood what this meant. I would go out on my own and run 4 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles as hard as I possibly can, be absolutely gassed, and build no base. I was building no base. I was at threshold the whole time, just, foot on the gas, and you burn out. You burn out quick. You either hate running or you injure yourself, honestly. And through working with Jeff, I learned that. And I believe my first actual easy run with Jeff was like an 8:40, maybe 8:30 pace. I think it was like a 2-mile run, and that was like easy. I was focused on keeping my heart rate low and being able to talk in sentences while running. I was slow, and that's okay. You got to go slow to go fast. Now, my easy runs, my heart rate the same as it was for my 8:30 or 8:40 originally, between 140 150 beats per minute. I generally average like 148. I think my pace is around like a 724. So it's just that's months and months of running. That's just consistent work day after day. And even with working with Jeff, I had no goal time for a marathon. I was never a fast guy. I was never, definitely not quick. Long distance, I learned on my own that could become fast, but still the goal that we've now set, I didn't even know was possibly obtainable for me personally. I'm going to run a sub 3 marathon. It's probably going to happen in February, not this current race in Colorado. That's a 6:50 per mile pace for 26.22 miles. And that sounds daunting. But the way that Jeff programs running and scheduling, it's just the consistent action. If you keep showing up, you get to these long runs on Saturdays. I see the run programmed, and I'll take a look, and it'll be, for example, Sunday, actually, I ran my long run, and it was 18 miles. I believe it was 7 miles easy, so nice, easy, low heart rate pace. The last 11 miles, I was alternating between 7:10 and 7:40, just switching back and forth for 11 miles. Now, I read that, and I was like, shit, like 7:10 for the last, I don't know, every other, but I have to do it like, what, 6 times? It's a lot. That's a lot, especially after you just ran 7 miles. But it's, I knew the work I did going in, and I crushed it. And that's just part of it, where, you focus on the process and you will crush your goals as a byproduct. It just happens. You hit these new benchmarks, these new PRs by accident, because you're so focused on the task at hand and just each day getting better that it compounds in your favor. What consistency is the long dedication to, it could be hard work, it could be easy work, it could be the monotonous work that we sometimes put off, but it's just doing the work and getting it done rather than the quick instant gratification of eating the cupcake, eating the cookie, avoiding the run, or slacking off. It's just, Jeff also says something, consistently good over occasionally great. So you could go out and smash your Tuesday workout every week, but when it comes to your Saturday long run, you're dogging it, or you're just not finishing it. So what good is it that you're going out and crushing one workout when you're lacking in another area completely? And I think that could be applied to life as well, where if, consistency could materialize in so many different ways. It materialize in one that I never took advantage of: school, work, even eating. What you eat, what you put in your body matters. And it's just the little choices and the daily habits, sleep, everything's crucial. Relationships, everything. It's the consistency, it's the showing up. So when I think of consistency, I think of something that Inky Johnson says. And he says there's a big difference between being a hard worker and someone who works hard. A hard worker is someone who shows up. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's raining, you have a run, you run. It doesn't matter if you don't feel good and you have to eat specific meals. You eat those meals because that's part of your plan. That's part of your consistency. And I think that's crucial. I think a lot of people, myself included, we tend to let our feelings dictate, or the type of day you're having dictate your actions. And it's something that I've really worked on, and that I think I've kind of hammered home, where, for example, not to get dark, I recently lost my grandmother. And that day I remember sitting there at the kitchen table, and obviously it's overwhelming. It's a lot. I love my family, but you feel your emotions. I'm personally someone that doesn't just sit and sink into them and get lost in them. So for example, I'm sitting there at the kitchen table, I was about to eat, and there was a lot of junk food in the house at the time, and it was one of those times where it was like, hey, you could just go grab the cookies, go grab the brownies, go grab whatever. No one's gonna fault you. You found out some tough news, and this is the way that majority of people cope with things. And I didn't. I grabbed the chicken, grabbed the rice, and made a normal chicken, rice, and avocado meal, which is my bread and butter. But that's what I did. And dealing with a tough thing, that's when you kind of have a choice. Just at all times, everything is an opportunity. But at that time, I chose discipline. I chose consistency, because I knew personally that, one, the food's just not going to make me feel better about the current situation, and two, I had to run the next day. I didn't want to be heavier on my run. I know if I eat the cookies, if I eat cake, brownies, whatever, ice cream, I personally feel heavier on my joints, which could potentially lead to injury, and it's just not something I want to do. I also have a goal. I have a goal in mind, and I know that the consistent action of good daily choices will bring me to that goal. But yeah, so Inky Johnson talks about, if you're a hard worker or someone that works hard. So someone that works hard might be someone, you get a nice sunny day and, oh, let's go outside, let's go for a run. Where, I look back, Tuesday, for example, was my track day, pouring rain. Got up, got to the track 7:30. I had to run, I believe it was like 13 point something, around 13 miles on the track in the pouring rain. And I had a buddy join me, and you would sit there and be like, well, why don't you just wait for the rain to pass? And it actually said it was going to rain all day. But that's when I said I was going to run. It doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, it doesn't matter. That's part of my plan for that day. That's part of the bigger plan for the marathon. But I'm in today. I need to get today's run done. I need to get today's work done. And that's what I do. I don't negotiate. When you start playing the what if game, when you start negotiating in your head, is when you start falling off track. That's when you don't value things and take things as serious as they need to be. Again, is this one run going to make or break me? No. But that taking off that one run because it's raining might lead to the next day. Hey, so now you take off Tuesday, have off Wednesday. And then it's like, oh, there's cake sitting over there. And it's compounding against you. It's compounding in a negative way. And it's the choices. And I'm not saying to not give yourself any wiggle room at all. If you're hurt, if you have other obligations, that maybe family obligations, something serious going on, completely understand. When you have the work in mind, you do the work. I really think consistency is something that we all overlook. A lot of people think that certain individuals on social media or in any form of media or any form of success or overnight success. And they often say that it was years and years of just grinding in the dark and doing the work when no one saw any results of it. Everybody wants the one video pops off and you became, millions of views and now you're famous, or the one quick instant result and that's going to change your life. And for a lot of these celebrities or people that we hold on pedestals at times, it's not the actual result. A lot of these people worked a really long time where no one saw it. It's just how it goes. So I'm going to smash my goal of a sub 3 hour marathon, most likely in February. And, of course, there's people that I'll probably meet at that time or be interacting with, like, oh, wow, you're just a talented runner. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. I was always slow. I was never looked at as a runner. I was actually looked at as the complete opposite in almost every sports team I ever played on. That's why it's funny to me. That's why I laugh. Because I look at a lot of people I associate with or friends or people I grew up with or played on sports teams with. I'm not even close to a talented runner compared to some of these people. And I mean, we're looking at short-term stuff where, you're running home to first to third. Like, there's people that smoked me. Again, it's not a competition, but it's just a consistency. I'm sure I could grab one of those kids from the sports teams if they dedicated their time. We put them on a schedule. They could become a marathoner, a sub 3 marathoner. It might take a little more time, but it's just a consistent action of day to day, run to run, and making the right choices. Nick Bear actually speaks about this a lot. It's choosing the hard right over the easy wrong. It's the hard choice. It's the meal you don't want to eat. It's the running the miles you don't want to run. It's running early in the morning if you have stuff later on in the day. It's hitting the workout regardless of how you feel. Listen, if injury aside, regardless of how you feel emotionally, regardless of how you feel mentally, it's doing the right things when it matters, when it counts, and just let those things consistently stack for you, and you will become a person you're proud of. And that's honestly ultimately what I've been doing, and it's a really, really rewarding feeling. And from there, you could kind of help other people. I was kind of in a zone for a bit where I really isolated myself, and this is getting a little off topic, but I really isolated myself and kind of surrounded myself with positivity and what I needed to become a better person and to work on myself and do a lot of self-reflecting and self-work. And now I'm in a space where I personally am branching back out and helping and affecting other people in a positive manner. And that's what this whole podcast is about. That's what this whole life journey for me personally is about. I want to positively affect as many people as I can. I said it before, and yeah, that's kind of just what I'm doing. And I'm doing it, my vehicle, my catalyst for change and for help and for a sense of meaning is driven through physical action, driven through fitness. I think I'm kind of finding my voice in my own sense and just really not giving a fuck, which is also one of the most rewarding things ever. But it was through fitness. It was through consistency, showing up, doing the hard runs. I had a run last night. I think I ran almost 11 miles on the track. Really tough workout, really fun one though. But I mean, full of piss and vinegar. Coming off that track, I couldn't even sleep last night. I was sitting in my bed just smiling like a dumbass, like literally just high on life. There's no other way to put it. I was just excited. I'm excited to wake up every day. It's crazy. actually psychotic. Like I think my mom thinks I take drugs just because of how happy I often seem. I mean, of course, everybody has down days. Everybody gets sad. Everybody has emotions. Everybody deals with things. Life sucks sometimes. But just I would say 80% of the time, I'm just full of piss and vinegar and happy and excited and joking around, and it's just awesome. But kind of off track, kind of off topic. But consistency will bring you whatever you want in this life, and I truly believe that. And that's all I got. So please comment, like, subscribe, and share, and see you next episode.